Hello everyone, welcome to today's video that is all about creating your own pants pattern. If you are a guy or maybe your boyfriend or husband needs some better fitted pants, this is your chance to make them for him or yourself. Another video will follow soon for women's pants. But first, you need to take the measures you need for drafting the pants pattern. I went through some of them in my earlier video about how to take your own measures, and there's a few more in this recipe. You need to measure your waist width, smooth around your waist, the hip width around the biggest part of your behind, the knee width that you measure around a bended knee, and the foot width that you eventually use favorite pants of yours and use the same measure, or you adjust it to your liking. And you need to measure the side length, which you measure from the underside of the waistband to the floor. And you need to measure your seat height while you have the waistband on. Sit down on a chair and measure from the underside of the waistband, center back, down to the seat. You need to know your inner side length. You deduct the seat height from the side length. The knee height is half of the inner side length plus 5 centimeter. Or you can eventually measure it by bending your knee and measure from the floor up to your knee and compare and see what fits the best. So let's get started. We will start with the front of the pants. First, draw a long vertical line down in the middle of your cardboard and mark point number 1 at the top. From 1 to 1A, you shorten the seat height by 2.5 centimeter, depending on how long your legs are. If you're tall like me, you could use 3 centimeters instead. From 1 to 2, all the way down here, you measure down the side length. From 2 to 3, you add 4 centimeters for the seam line. From 2 to 4, you measure or calculate your knee height. You take half of your inner side length plus 5 centimeter, or you bend your knee and measure from the floor to your knee. From 1A down to 5, it's the seat height minus 2.5 centimeter. Draw perpendicular lines at every point. Now from 1A to 6, you measure 1/10 of your waist width plus 2.6 centimeter. From 1A to 7, you use the previous measure plus 2 centimeter and put it out here. From 5 to 8, you measure 3/10 of your hip width plus 3 centimeter and divide it by 2 and put this measure here. From 5 to 9, you measure 1/3 of your seat height. From 9 to 10, you use the same measure as from 5 to 8, minus 1 centimeter. From 8 to 11, you measure 1/10 of your hip width. Now you can draw center front from 8 to 6. But first connect 6 with 11. Start at 8 and draw a curve past 11 and up to 6. At the knee, at point 4, you add a quarter of your knee width on each side, which becomes number 12. The same at the foot width. You add a quarter of your foot width on each side, which becomes 13. Now draw the side seam from 7 up here over 10 and 12 to 13 and down to the seam. Likewise on the other side, draw the inner side seam from 8 over 12 with a guideline from 12 down to 13 and the seam line. Measure 1 centimeter up from 7 on the side seam and draw a curve down to the waistline. You also curve the side seam slightly down to 10. On the inner side length, you curve the upper part about 4 to 5 millimeters in and even out the line. This was the front piece of the men's pants pattern. I will continue shortly with the back piece, so stay tuned. So let's continue with the back piece. The back pant pattern is based on the front pattern. So I constructed it on top here, use the same middle as the guideline. You can see the front piece is under the back pattern here, but let me explain to you step by step how I constructed it. So we have the same starting point at 1. You measure 2.8 centimeters more up here on the back piece. From 14 to 15, there's 1 centimeter. From 15 to 16, there's 3 centimeter. So from 16 to 17, over here on the side, you measure a quarter of your waist width, plus 1 centimeter, plus 2, down, so you hit the original waistline. So a quarter of your waist width plus 3 centimeters down here. From 17 to 18, here at the dart, there is 1/8 of your waist width to the middle of the dart here. And the dart is about 8 to 9 centimeters long, depending again on your height and your shape. You can make it a bit longer or a bit shorter. Now, from 19 here, it's actually the same point as 8 on the front piece. You take the same measure here as on the front piece from 11 to 8, plus 2 centimeters more. So from 8 to 11, plus 2 centimeters more here. And you have number 20. From 21, which is the same point as 5 on the front piece, you measure 1/10 of your hip width this way and mark 22. From 22, you draw a guideline up to 15. Mark 22A here, 5 centimeters up and 1 centimeter out. That's 22A. Now you can draw the center back down from 16 through 22A and continue with a curve half a centimeter under 19 and 20, as shown here. Now take your big ruler and slide it along the guideline from 22 to 15 until you hit point 10 on the front piece, perpendicular to the guideline. Draw a line and extend it out. On this line, you measure a quarter of your hip width plus 1 centimeter out, and you get 24. at the knee line, measure 2 centimeters out from the front piece on each side, and these are points 25. The same at the foot line, measure 2 centimeters out from each side, and these points are 26. With all these points, you can now draw the side seam on the back piece from 17 over 24 with a guideline, just a straight line at first, continue to 25 and down to 26 and the seam line. The same for the inner side seam. Draw a guideline from 20 to 25 and continue down to the hemline at 26 and the seam line. Now measure 1 centimeter up from 17 here, as you did on the front piece at 7, so they have the same height, and draw a curved line down to the waist, as you did on the front piece here. Curved line, as well as 4 millimeters out, you curve the line down to 24 slightly. And at the inner side length, again, you curve the line 5 to 6 millimeters inside and even it out to the side seam or inner side seam as here. And this was your back piece. I hope you can see the difference for the front piece and the back piece. That is a bit higher on center back. Copy these two pieces out on silk pattern paper, and this pattern has already 1 centimeter seam allowance included. So when you copy it out, mark that on your copy, and you can eventually add more if you like. I usually use 1.5, but it's up to you. I hope this demonstration was helpful. The pattern recipe will be available as a detailed PDF file. If you would like to purchase it for a small amount, just follow the link in the description, or you can watch the video over and over again to make your own pattern. Tell me how your pattern turns out in the comments and reach out if you have any problems. Don't forget to like and comment on the video. It will help me tremendously. And until next time, thanks for watching.